The first one was Swing Shift. So we did that and we met there, we fell in love, and then we got together and we had a baby.
She had that kind of smile that could light up an entire city block. Goldie Hawn, the golden girl of Hollywood, Oscar winner and queen of feel-good flicks, made the world laugh without even breaking a sweat. But behind that sunshine grin was a woman chasing something deeper, something real, something she could actually hold on to. 2 marriages gone, heartbreak handled like a pro, and still she walked through life with that same sparkle in her eyes. Now at 79, Goldie is finally opening up about something nobody saw coming. One man. The only man, she says, who ever truly got her. The only one who made her feel something that still lingers after all these years. And no, it's not the man the world expected. We're about to step into the private world she kept hidden for decades, the secret love story that's been quietly running behind the scenes while Hollywood watched her shine. Born to sparkle, Goldie Jean Hawn entered the world in Washington, D.C. Her mom, Laura, was a dancer and jewelry shop owner, full of grace and hustle, while her dad, Edward Hawn, was a talented musician and conductor with serious family roots, tracing back to German and English heritage. She's even said to descend from Edward Rutledge, the youngest man to sign the Declaration of Independence. Talk about star power running in the blood. Her mom came from a Jewish family who had fled Hungary, bringing with them deep traditions and resilience. So from day one, Goldie grew up surrounded by rhythm, laughter, and that electric mix of cultures in Tacoma Park, Maryland, alongside her sister Patty. What few people knew back then was that before Patty, there had been a baby brother, Edward Jr., who sadly passed away as an infant. That quiet loss shaped the family's tenderness, even if no one talked about it out loud. Goldie found her calling almost before she could read. She was only 3 when she first hit the dance floor, tiny ballet slippers, tap shoes, and a spotlight she seemed born for. By 10, she was already performing in the Nutcracker with the Ballet Russe de Monte Carlo. Not bad for a little girl with big dreams. And that was just the warm-up. By 1964, she was dancing in Romeo and Juliet and running her own ballet school, teaching others before most people her age even knew what they wanted in life. College couldn't hold her. She dropped out of her drama studies to chase her dreams full throttle. That fearless move paid off fast. Her first taste of professional fame came when she performed in Can-Can at the Texas Pavilion during the New York World's Fair, shaking things up with energy no one could ignore. Soon after, she was lighting up nightclubs as a go-go dancer across New York and New Jersey, all while keeping her eye on something bigger. Hollywood was watching, and it didn't take long before it came calling. Her big moment exploded in 1968 when she joined Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In. Her bubbly laugh, goofy charm, and that unforgettable smile turned her into America's new obsession overnight. Goldie wasn't just another pretty face. She was magnetic, pure joy wrapped in blonde hair and laughter. That same year, she landed a small part in the one and only genuine original family band. But it was Cactus Flower in 1969 that changed everything. Goldie's performance stole every scene. She snagged both an Academy Award and a Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actress. Suddenly, everyone knew. She wasn't just funny. She was phenomenal. From there, the hits kept rolling. There's a Girl in My Soup, Butterflies Are Free, The Sugarland Express, Shampoo, Foul Play, Seems Like Old Times, and Private Benjamin. Every movie made her bigger, brighter, bolder. Private Benjamin even scored her a second Oscar nomination, proving she could do it all: comedy, drama, heart, and hustle. Goldie wasn't just born to shine, she made sure that light never dimmed. That next Oscar nod, this time for Best Actress, sealed it. From Overboard to Death Becomes Her, The First Wives Club, and even The Christmas Chronicles, Goldie proved she had that rare kind of sparkle that could make entire generations laugh together. She was unstoppable, a mix of charm and chaos that Hollywood couldn't get enough of. But while her career looked flawless, her personal life had its own wild twists that never made it onto the movie posters. Before the flashing lights and red carpets, Goldie had a few early flames. She dated actor Mark Goddard for a while, then a singer named Spiro Ox. Two short but sweet chapters in her story. But her first real love, the kind that hits you like a wave, was with Gus Triconis, a dancer and actor best known for West Side Story. Goldie met Gus in the late 1960s while both were performing, and the chemistry was instant. She later confessed she wanted to marry him the very moment they met. Love at first sight, plain and simple. They tied the knot in May 1969 under the Hawaiian sun, full of dreams and passion, two performers chasing the same stars. But soon, fame came knocking, hard. Goldie's career exploded while Gus struggled to keep steady work, and that power imbalance started to sting. The glitz, the travel, the long hours, all of it began to pull them apart. Goldie was becoming one of Hollywood's most adored rising stars, while Gus felt himself fading into the background. Slowly but surely, the gap between them grew until there was no bridge left to cross. They separated in 1973, and though their hearts had already moved on, the paperwork took longer to catch up. Goldie didn't officially file for divorce until New Year's Eve of 1975, a symbolic goodbye to the past as the clock struck midnight. By then, she had already met someone new, someone who brought back that thrill she thought she'd lost. When the divorce was finalized in June 1976, Goldie wasted no time stepping into her next big chapter. Just a few weeks later, she said "I do" again, this time to musician and actor Bill Hudson from the famous Hudson Brothers. And get this, they met in first class on a flight from New York to Los Angeles. Talk about fate flying first class too. Their connection was fast, fiery, and full of promise. On July 3rd, 1976, they got married in Goldie's hometown, ready to write their new love story from scratch. Soon after, their picture-perfect family grew with the arrival of two children, Oliver and Kate, who would later steal Hollywood's heart in their own right. From the outside, it looked like a dream. The perfect family, the perfect love. But behind the smiles, the cracks were forming again. By 1980, the fairy tale was over. Bill filed for divorce, later admitting he had doubts from the very beginning. Another heartbreak, another ending. But Goldie wasn't done with love yet. On their wedding day, Bill Hudson said he felt like the luckiest guy alive, the music man who'd won Hollywood's Golden Girl. But right after the "I do's," Goldie leaned in close, looked him in the eyes, and whispered, "Are you sure we did the right thing?" That one question haunted him for years. He said it replayed in his head like a song he couldn't turn off. Bill swore he was ready for a calm, committed family life, the kind with Sunday breakfasts and movie nights at home. But he always felt like Goldie wanted something different. She craved freedom, movement, and adventure, not the kind of traditional setup he was dreaming about. After their split, things only got messier. Goldie and Bill clashed hard, especially over parenting. Bill said he felt shut out, like he was standing on the outside of his own family, watching his kids grow up from a distance, while wanting nothing more than to be their real dad. The pain stuck with him for decades. And it wasn't just Bill speaking out. Both of Goldie's ex-husbands eventually aired their feelings, and not softly either. Gus Triconis claimed Goldie wasn't the same woman he married once fame hit her like a tidal wave. He said success pulled her far from their marriage, that Hollywood changed her crowd, and that she started hanging out with heavyweights like Barbra Streisand and Jack Nicholson, names that symbolize the top of the entertainment food chain. According to Gus, her energy shifted. Her world got faster, louder, and wild in ways I didn't even recognize anymore. Then came Bill's side of the story, and he didn't hold back. He said Goldie worked hard to project that clean, glowing, all-American image to the world, but behind the cameras, he described her as manipulative and selfish. His words cut deep. He said their love story wasn't as romantic as people thought, that while he wanted a close-knit family, Goldie wanted space and independence. The biggest point of tension? The rumors that their marriage was open. Goldie hinted at it once, but Bill completely denied it, saying, "I never agreed to anything like that." He insisted he was loyal, traditional, and just wanted stability, something he never got. His deepest heartbreak, though, wasn't about the fame or the fights. It was about losing touch with his children. Bill said that after the divorce, he felt erased, like he was fading out of their lives little by little until there was nothing left but photos and memories. It broke him in ways the public never saw, and those wounds never really healed, not even years later. Goldie might have been the face of Hollywood happiness, the woman who made millions laugh, but off camera she carried storms no one could see. Heartbreak, disappointment, and 2 marriages that left scars deeper than she ever admitted. Both ex-husbands held on to their bitterness long after the final goodbyes. But Goldie? She refused to let the pain define her. She kept moving forward, building her career, raising her kids, and focusing on inner peace instead of drama. She started a foundation, kept her smile shining, and slowly began to trust love again. And then came the twist no one saw coming. The moment everything changed, Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell, a Hollywood match made in pure magic. But here's the kicker. Their story started way back in 1966 on the set of the one and only genuine original family band. Long before sparks flew, before they ever imagined a future together, fate had already placed them in each other's orbit. Goldie was 21, full of energy and light, and Kurt was just 16, a teenage actor still figuring out his path. Despite that little age gap, Goldie never forgot her first impression of him. "I thought he was adorable," she said years later in 2012, a memory that had clearly stayed warm in her heart. Still, nothing happened back then. Both had strict rules about never dating other actors, so their brief encounter remained just that, a sweet little spark tucked away in time. Neither of them could have guessed that 17 years later, that small moment would come roaring back and change everything. Fast forward to 1983. Fate stepped in again. Kurt was auditioning for Swing Shift, and when Goldie walked into the room, the entire energy flipped. The funny part? Kurt wasn't exactly in top shape that day. He'd been out late the night before, showed up tired, a little rough, and definitely nervous. So when he saw Goldie, instead of saying something professional, he accidentally blurted out, "Man, you got a great figure." It could have crashed the whole moment, but Goldie, being Goldie, just smiled and replied, "Why, thank you." That one line broke all the tension and lit the match for what was coming next. Not long after, they had their first date. And trust me, it was no regular dinner and movie night. They started out at the legendary Playboy Club, dancing to swing music, laughing, and vibing like they'd known each other forever. Then came the twist. Goldie had just bought a new house, and they decided to go check it out. Only problem? She didn't have the keys yet. So what did they do? They broke in to her own house. They wandered through the empty rooms, imagining how she'd decorate, talking about life, fame, and the future. Then they ended up in what would have been the bedroom. And suddenly the moment got real romantic, real fast. But before anything could happen, flashing lights pulled up outside. The police had shown up thinking a break-in was happening. Can you imagine? Goldie and Kurt had to rush out, hearts racing, and ended up finishing their night at a hotel instead. Kurt later laughed about it, saying, "That was our first date. It was a lot of fun." From that wild night on, their connection only grew stronger. Once filming began on swing shift, they got to spend real time together, not just the Hollywood version of romance, but the genuine, slow burn kind that comes from being around each other every day. Goldie later said Kurt wasn't just handsome. It was his honesty that pulled her in. "He had zero pretense," she shared. "I could tell right away he wasn't a womanizer. That realness, that grounded energy was what made her fall for him hard. But what sealed the deal wasn't his looks. It was how he treated her kids." Goldie already had 2 children, Oliver and Kate, from her marriage to Bill Hudson. She'd bring them to set sometimes, and she'd quietly watch how Kurt interacted with them. No acting, no pretending, just pure kindness and care. "What really got me," she said, "was when I watched my kids with him. He was amazing with them." He wasn't trying to impress her. He was being himself. That's when she knew. This wasn't just love. This was something deeper. Kurt didn't just fall for Goldie. He embraced her family, her life, her world. What started as 2 co-stars connecting turned into something unbreakable. By 1986, 3 years after they started seeing each other, Goldie and Kurt welcomed their own child, Wyatt Russell. Their bond wasn't built on Hollywood sparkle or fame. It was built on trust, laughter, and that rare kind of love that feels like home. Wyatt's arrival made their blended family complete. Alongside Goldie's kids, Oliver and Kate, and Kurt's son, Boston, from a previous marriage, the house was bursting with love, laughter, and chaos, the best kind. And even though they never felt the need to make it official with a wedding, they built something far stronger, a bond that's lasted decades without a single vow. In 2021, Goldie posted a birthday message to Kurt that melted hearts everywhere. "No, we never got married," she wrote. "But one thing that continues to grow is our love." She called him a wild one, brilliant, lovable, childlike, perfectly maddening, a supreme father, and deeply funny. Then she ended it with the sweetest line. "I can't imagine my life without you at any age. Kurt Russell, you're the catch, and you're all mine." It was raw, romantic, and so them. Their love didn't just stay behind closed doors, and it lit up the big screen too. In 1987, the world fell in love with their chemistry all over again and overboard. Goldie played the spoiled heiress who loses her memory, and Kurt played the mischievous guy who convinces her they're married. Talk about irony. The movie was funny, flirty, and filled with sparks that only real love could create. Years later, in 2020, they rewatched it together on TV, and Goldie laughed, saying, "It was so fabulous how we started." You could tell she meant every word. Their connection wasn't just in scripts, it showed in every moment they shared. In 1989, the couple hit the Oscars stage together to present an award, and their playful banter stole the whole show. Goldie told the crowd, "We fit completely with tonight's theme because we're co-stars, we're compadres, we're companions, and we're a couple." Without missing a beat, Kurt grinned and said, "There's only one thing. We're not married." The crowd exploded with laughter and cheers. Goldie shot back with a teasing smile. "Is that a proposal?" Kurt winked and said, "Listen, we'll talk about it later tonight." Goldie laughed. "We will talk about that later." It was pure, unscripted magic, a snapshot of the love that's kept them unshakable for decades, and that bond never dimmed. In 1996, at the premiere of The First Wives Club, Goldie stunned on the red carpet alongside her co-stars Diane Keaton and Bette Midler. And right beside her, as always, was Kurt, proud and glowing. Their kids joined them too, turning the premiere into a full family moment straight out of a movie itself. Over the years, their family only grew stronger. Goldie and Kurt became grandparents to 7 grandkids, and their love kept shining. A partnership that laughed, worked, and lived side by side through it all. Even without a marriage license, they built something real, a love that felt eternal. Back in 2003, Goldie opened up in an interview with that familiar sparkle in her eye. She said she wasn't in any rush for anything, but one thing she was excited about was becoming a grandmother. "It would be so much fun," she said, grinning. Not long after, her wish came true. Her daughter, Kate Hudson, following in her mom's footsteps as a superstar and a free spirit, announced she was expecting her first child, keeping the Hawn-Russell family legacy going strong. Kate was the first to become a parent, and on January 8, 2004, she and her then-husband, musician Chris Robinson, welcomed a baby boy, Ryder Russell Robinson. Kate was only 24, but she already knew exactly what she wanted for her family. She once said, "I want children early enough to really experience my parents young. I want my parents to be able to see my kids graduate from high school." That line hit home. It showed just how deep the family bond really runs. From Hollywood sets to family dinners, Goldie and Kurt built a life full of laughter, loyalty, and love that never needed paperwork to prove it. And just like that, Goldie and Kurt stepped into a brand new chapter, grandparenthood. It was the beginning of something softer, but just as magical. Becoming grandparents gave their story a whole new glow. And even after decades together, their adventures were far from over. In 2006, they hit the red carpet in Italy for the premiere of Poseidon, and the crowd went wild. Kurt was the star of the night, but Goldie was right there beside him, looking radiant as ever. Cameras flashed, fans screamed, and then Kurt leaned in and stole a kiss right there in front of everyone. Pure movie magic in real life. The crowd loved it. No script, no acting, just love that never aged. Fast forward to 2016, Goldie turned 71, and she celebrated in serious style. Her birthday bash was held at Catch LA, one of Hollywood's hottest celebrity hangouts, and she arrived glowing, clutching a big wrapped gift from Kurt. But the night wasn't just about champagne and sparkle. There was something much more personal waiting for her at home. Their daughter, Kate Hudson, shared it online later, and it melted hearts everywhere. She posted a picture of a fireplace Kurt had built himself in their new house, writing, "My pa laid the stone for the fireplace in our new home, and if you look closely, he put a big heart representing Mama, and I'm gonna say him too, with 4 little hearts representing us kids." That simple, heartfelt gesture said everything about their family. Love wasn't just spoken, it was shown in the little things. A year later, in 2017, Goldie was shining again, this time on the red carpet for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Kurt had a big role in the movie, and Goldie was right there cheering him on like his #1 fan. She told reporters, "I'm always proud of him," even though she admitted she hadn't seen the film yet. For her, it wasn't about the movie. It was about being there. But the most emotional moment that year wasn't on a movie screen. It happened right on Hollywood Boulevard. In May 2017, Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell each received their own stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, side by side. The ceremony turned into something more like a celebration of their life together than a regular award event. Goldie later admitted, "It turned out to be a love fest. I didn't expect him to say those things. I had no idea he was going to be so beautiful." During his speech, Kurt turned to her, looked right into her eyes, and said words that melted everyone's hearts. "To you, I owe my wonderful life. Simply put, Goldie, I cherish you. All the stars in the sky or on the boulevard can't hold a candle to that." He finished with, "There's no one else I'd rather be next to for all of that than Goldie Hawn." The crowd cheered, Goldie teared up, and the two kissed right there beside their freshly revealed stars. Hollywood legends, side by side, proving true love can survive the spotlight. It wasn't just romantic. It felt real. Later that month, Goldie opened up about what had kept their love strong for so long. Love, gratitude, compassion, she said simply, because sometimes every man or woman will drive their partner crazy. That honesty was the secret. Their connection wasn't about red carpets or fame. It was about building a life together, one day, one moment, one laugh at a time. Still solid as ever, both on and off the screen, Goldie and Kurt kept the magic going. In 2018, they teamed up once again, this time as none other than Mr. and Mrs. Claus in The Christmas Chronicles on Netflix. It was their first film together since Overboard, and fans couldn't get enough. Their chemistry was still electric, their charm effortless. Goldie's role in the first movie was short, but oh so sweet. And in a perfect full-circle twist, their son Oliver appeared in it too, turning the project into a true family affair. Seeing them together again, parents, partners, and now grandparents, reminded everyone why the Hawn-Russell love story has become one of Hollywood's rarest treasures. By the time The Christmas Chronicles 2 dropped in 2020, Goldie was shining brighter than ever as Mrs. Claus. This time, she had a much bigger role beside Kurt, and the two brought pure magic to the screen. Their chemistry was timeless, warm, funny, and real. You could feel that decades of love in every glance they shared. Kurt later explained why they didn't flood Hollywood with joint projects, even though fans always wanted more. "Goldie's movies and movies that I'm in are pretty different things," he said with a grin. "It's not mandatory, just because you live with someone, love someone, and enjoy working together, that you should do 10 or 15 movies together." That was classic Kurt, honest and grounded. They never forced anything. Every project they shared had to mean something, and that's what made their collaborations so special. Then came another joyful twist in 2018. That October, their daughter Kate Hudson welcomed a baby girl, Ronnie Rose. Goldie and Kurt couldn't stop smiling. More grandkids, more love, more laughter filling the Hawn-Russell home. Over the years, their family tree bloomed beautifully, with 7 grandchildren in total: Ryder, Bingham, Ronnie, Bodie, Wilder, Rio, and Buddy. Each one adored, spoiled, and surrounded by the kind of love that money and fame can't buy. Goldie and Kurt often shared glimpses of that family joy online, pictures of them laughing around the dinner table, playing with the kids, or just soaking up quiet moments together. In March 2019, they jetted off to Hawaii to celebrate Kurt's 68th birthday. Goldie posted a video of them walking and laughing hand in hand, the ocean behind them, the sun setting low. And you could tell, even after all these years, they still had that spark, that playful, teasing, young love energy that never went away. Later that same year, in December 2020, the couple opened up even more about their secret to love in an interview with People magazine. Goldie said, "You've just got to want to be together. I don't think there's any other way than to do it." When asked, again, why they never married, she gave the most Goldie answer ever. "It's not about the marriage, it's about the people and the relationship and the will to stay together. If you want it, you can have it." She smiled and added, "You've got to give things up. But the joy and excitement of being together, of touching toes at night, is really a nice feeling." That line melted hearts everywhere. For them, love wasn't about fancy titles or paperwork. It was about peace, laughter, and that quiet kind of connection you can't fake. In January 2021, the couple welcomed a new little addition, a fluffy puppy named Roy Hawn-Russell. Goldie posted a picture of herself cuddling the pup, and fans went wild. It was another tiny moment that showed exactly who they were. Two people who built a warm, funny, down-to-earth life together, full of small joys and big love. Then came another milestone, Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2022. Goldie shared a sweet post celebrating 39 years of love with Kurt, writing about their decades together with a heart full of gratitude. Fans flooded the comments, still in awe that these two Hollywood icons had made it so far without ever walking down the aisle. People kept asking the same question, why not get married? But Goldie and Kurt never needed the ring to prove anything. They already had what most couples dream of: loyalty, laughter, and a love that kept evolving with time. In March 2023, Kurt finally addressed the curiosity head-on in an interview with Variety. He said, "When we first got together, people kept asking, 'When are you going to get married?' And you could almost hear him laughing, because after 4 decades of standing strong without a wedding, the answer was obvious. Their commitment didn't need an audience. It spoke for itself every single day." When people asked, "Why aren't you two married?" Kurt just laughed. He said they both looked at each other and thought, why does anybody care about that? They even asked their kids how they felt, and the kids shrugged it off like it was nothing. That was all the confirmation Goldie and Kurt needed. Their family was happy, their love was solid. Who needed paperwork to prove it? A few months later, in July 2023, Goldie opened up even more in a candid chat with Chris Wallace on CNN. She got real about why she and Kurt never tied the knot. "Divorce," she said simply. "It's always ugly." Then she asked, "How many divorces don't cost money? How many divorces haven't hurt children?" Her words hit home for a lot of people who'd watched her go through heartbreak before. But what she said next revealed the real heart of their bond. "I like the idea that I can wake up in the morning and make decisions every day if I want to be here," she shared. That one line summed up decades of love and loyalty. For Goldie, choosing to stay freely every single day meant more than any legal contract ever could. Their love wasn't locked in by a signature. It was held together by choice, trust, and time. Their commitment was about real love, messy, human, and lasting. No staged perfection, no polished Hollywood fantasy. Just two people who knew exactly what they had and never let go. Then, in December 2023, the couple was spotted in Aspen, Colorado, bundled up in winter coats, walking hand in hand through the snow, sharing kisses, laughing, shopping for gifts, still glowing like newlyweds. Fans couldn't stop talking about how natural and happy they looked. After 4 decades, they still made love look easy. But only weeks later, that peace was shattered. Goldie opened up on Kelly Ripa's podcast about something terrifying that had happened at their Los Angeles home. Not once, but twice. She described the first break-in vividly. "We went out to dinner and came back a couple of hours later," she said. "I walked into my closet and just lost it." The burglars had broken in through the balcony, slipped into the bedroom, and smashed open her closet door. "They completely knocked down my safe door," Goldie explained. "They got a lot of my goodies, if you know what I mean." You could hear the shock still in her voice. These weren't random thieves. She believed they were professionals. It was a chilling violation of privacy, one that left her shaken. She thought it was over. A one-time nightmare. But then, just 4 months later, it happened again. Goldie was home alone when she heard a loud thump upstairs. At first, she brushed it off, thinking maybe it was the wind or something outside. But the next day, they found clear evidence. Someone had tried to break in again, this time while she was inside the house. That second attempt left Goldie genuinely rattled. "It shook me," she admitted. She said the experience changed the way she and Kurt lived forever. They immediately stepped up security. bringing in personal guards to protect their home, especially when Goldie was there by herself. "I'm never without a guard now," she said bluntly. It wasn't paranoia, it was survival. But after all that chaos, they made a major life decision. They decided it was time to leave their Malibu mansion behind. The ocean views and celebrity neighbors suddenly didn't feel safe anymore. So they packed up and relocated to Palm Desert, about 2.5 hours inland. It was a huge shift after years of living close to their kids in Los Angeles, but peace of mind mattered more than proximity. For Goldie and Kurt, it wasn't about luxury. It was about feeling safe again. After everything they'd built, the fame, the fortune, the family, all they really wanted was a little quiet, a little sunshine, and a home where love could breathe without fear. Kate Hudson, Goldie and Kurt's daughter, now lives in the same childhood home where she and her brothers grew up. The house filled with memories, laughter, and a whole lot of chaos. In an interview with Howard Stern, Kate admitted she was once super codependent on her mom. "I was deeply attached to our family unit," she said. Then she added with a smile, "Our family is just nuts, in the best way. Everyone's so different, but everyone just wants to enjoy life. There's a life force in our family, and it's amazing." That perfectly summed up the Hawn-Russell clan, a little wild, a little loud, but powered by pure love. Even with all the fame and ups and downs, one thing never changed: the strength of their family bond. But fans kept asking the same question over the years. What made Kurt the one for Goldie? In April 2024, Goldie finally gave an answer that melted hearts everywhere. During an interview on Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend on Sirius XM, she shared the exact moment she realized Kurt Russell was the one. And it wasn't just because of his charm, though, yes, she admitted he was handsome and hilarious. What really hit her was his heart, especially how he treated kids. She said she'd always been devoted to family, and when she saw that same devotion in Kurt, something inside her just clicked. "He wasn't just a partner," she explained softly. "He was someone I could build a life with." That was the difference. It wasn't about Hollywood glamour or movie magic. It was about building something real, grounded, and lasting. Over the years, their family kept expanding: Kate, Oliver, Wyatt, and a beautiful group of grandchildren, all carrying that same joyful, creative spark. Their home wasn't just full of people. It was full of warmth, laughter, and that electric energy that comes from two people who truly love being around each other. Then in September 2024, Goldie sat down with E! News and got refreshingly honest about what really keeps love alive after 4 decades. "You have to have good something," she said with a playful grin. "Something that connects you and creates belonging." She didn't spell it out, but everyone knew exactly what she meant. Goldie explained that emotional connection and chemistry both matter. "People with healthy relationships usually last a lot longer," she said, then laughed and added, "You have to be nice to each other sometimes." It was classic Goldie, funny, wise, and real all at once. Then the conversation turned to a topic most Hollywood stars avoid: monogamy. Goldie didn't shy away. She said, "You're in the prime of your life. You're attracted to other people, potentially." But she made one thing clear: that doesn't mean you act on it. For her, love isn't about perfection. It's about respect, honesty, and choice. Goldie and Kurt's love story has never been about playing by the rules. It's about rewriting them together. Through decades of fame, heartbreak, children, and now grandchildren, they've built something that's still unshakable, proving that when two people choose each other every day, that's the real forever. Goldie explained that she and Kurt have always kept it real. Nothing off limits, nothing swept under the rug. They talk openly about everything, even attraction. She said they both agree it's totally normal to notice other people. They're human, after all. But what really matters is how you handle those feelings. That's where their secret lies. She described their relationship as having elasticity. It bends but doesn't break. It stretches but always snaps back stronger. That kind of openness, trust, and respect, she believes, is exactly why they've lasted this long. Still together, still in love, and still laughing like the day they met. By 2025, Goldie and Kurt had officially crossed the 41-year mark as a couple. 4 decades of love, loyalty, and a whole lot of laughter. And they were still lighting up red carpets like Hollywood's ultimate power duo. On March 2nd, 2025, they attended the Oscars hand in hand, looking like pure elegance. Goldie glowed in a dazzling bright yellow Dolce & Gabbana gown that caught every flash of light, while Kurt stood tall beside her in a sleek black tux, smiling proudly. They looked timeless, the kind of couple that reminds everyone what love can look like when it's real. Goldie was one of the night's presenters, stealing the show with her grace and sparkle. But the true highlight wasn't her gown or the cameras. It was the way she and Kurt looked at each other. That quiet spark, that unspoken connection, it was still there. After 41 years, they still had that same warmth, that same magic that's impossible to fake. When reporters asked Kurt what it feels like after all these years together, his answer was as simple and sweet as the man himself. "I just love the fact that we met and we're still doing it," he said with a grin. "We still like being together." No fancy words, no rehearsed lines, just the truth straight from the heart. Together, they've faced everything. The chaos of Hollywood, the ups and downs of fame, raising kids, moving homes, dealing with heartbreak, even surviving scary break-ins. And through it all, they never let go of each other. Their love didn't need a wedding or a script. It was built on trust, humor, and the decision to choose one another every single day. Maybe that's the real secret. No ring, no rules, just real love that lasts. So now it's your turn. What's your favorite Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell moment? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button if you felt something genuine. And stick around for more untold Hollywood love stories that still shine bright after all these years.